Hey guys, this is Max and welcome to another episode of the story behind the shoot. And today's photo set is all about going crazy. So I wanted to show the transition of someone who is obviously very normal and in control of their life to the very same person being not in control anymore and apparently being completely out of her mind and even scaring the viewer to some extent. And as a location we chose the old psychiatric ward here in Haar, which is close to Munich, and which is an area that was built over 100 years ago and is not in operation anymore. And because of that, it has an overall feeling of being a lost place in many ways. So you have broken windows and things like that. And a lot of interesting spots that are well suited for taking portraits and photographs in general. As a model, I chose Karina, with whom I've worked before, and not only because I was looking for someone with red hair and curly hair, but also because she's a great actor. She is capable of actually bringing that across, that transition, and looking completely normal and in control and even scary to some extent because she's so much in control, and then also coming up with some really crazy facial expressions towards the end of the photo set that were perfect for that kind of situation and for the things that I had in mind. So in my opinion, she did a really great job on that, and yeah, I can't wait to show you these images. So without further ado, let's take a look at the behind the shoot footage, and I will run you through the day and what we did. So we started out early that morning, meeting up with Evgenia, our hair and makeup stylist for that particular day, and had Karina styled and prepared for the photo shoot. And most of you will know that this is a process, if done correctly, that just takes time, usually 90 minutes or up to 2 hours or more, depending on how much makeup you want to apply and what your intention is. In that particular case, as you know, we wanted to show the transition of someone from being completely normal to going crazy. And we also decided to shoot 3 different sets and outfits. And we started out with the normal in control state, and for that we chose a completely black outfit for Karina. She was wearing a black turtleneck, kind of heels and tights and shorts and all that. As you can see here, we applied kind of natural makeup. Her hair was bound together and things like that. I chose also a background that kind of fits that in control feeling with very clear lines and edges and so forth. And also I tried in terms of my composition to kind of add to that feeling of this is someone who is completely in control and everything is correct here. And that was the idea for the whole first part of the set. We then transitioned to the second location, and the idea here was to have an outfit that is a little bit sexier, but at the same time shows a femme fatale that you as a viewer can't really trust. So you already get a glimpse at her craziness, and you're kind of uncertain of what is this woman all about, can I trust her or not? And at least in my opinion, Karina really brought that across in a great fashion. In this case, I did 2 things. For one, we chose a little lighter dress for that, and as I said, a little bit sexier outfit. Overall, we also decided to kind of open up her hair. She was supposed to show her curly hair, also had added eyelashes, kind of artificial eyelashes and things like that. Also, I had 2 ideas. The first one was, okay, I want to have strong contrast, so I would put her in front of a really dark background and her wearing something white together with her curly, shiny hair. That would work great on black and white film. That was one thing that we did. And in addition to that, in contrast to all the edges on the first part of the photo set, I wanted to have kind of round architecture where possible, and also showing her in a wider context that features that kind of round aspect. So that was the second location. So on the third location, as I just mentioned, we came from a completely black outfit. We now had a completely white dress. And the idea was to showcase complete madness. And for that purpose, we completely messed up Karina's hair and makeup. Evgenia took care of that she really looked crazy in the first place. And in addition to that, we had a background that was perfect for that. We were located in an old nursery that was formerly used by inmates to do some gardening and to take care of plants and flowers and grow something kind of as a side job while being inmates at the institution. And being in that garden, and especially that old shed that we found in that garden, and going in there and kind of taking some images through the window, that was very strong in my opinion, and that really captures the whole idea of, okay, this is a crazy person, you don't trust her, you're even scared when looking at the image, and at the same time, at least that's what I hope, you're also fascinated by that person. You want to know her story, you want to know what happened before, and that's the kind of sense that I wanted to create. In addition to that, we came across a kind of old fountain where people probably used to kind of draw water from, and that had a little curve in there, and I asked her to replicate that curve with her own posture. And in my opinion, these images also turned out very interesting and have something to them, especially if you think about the first two parts of the photo set with all the strict lines and edges in the first part, and then the second one with all the round corners. And here we now have an environment that kind of makes her change her posture and go into, also having her body kind of contract to in a very interesting way. Another example for that is that we put her in the midst of a tree and that is kind of growing in all sorts of directions, and she was able to kind of lean towards the trunk here and there. And I really like these images because of the kind of foreground that you have and her, and the way you're fixing, your eyes are looking at her eyes, and you're so interested in that person and what went wrong with her. So overall, I really like that set and how it turned out, and that it actually lives up to my intentions and what I wanted to do with it. In terms of equipment, that's also interesting to mention for most of you, of course. You've probably seen that already. I brought along two cameras that I really like for the mechanical overall handling and their quiet shutter sounds. The first one is Jules Hasselblad 501 CM with a 80mm planar lens, a CFE lens, and in addition to that I brought my own Leica M6 with a 50mm Summicron lens, and with the Hasselblad I mostly shot Kodak Tri-X, because of this whole idea of showing a crazy person, I also wanted to try a completely different color film, so I decided to just go with the Lomography color negative ISO 400 film and just give it a try. And in my opinion, the results are very interesting for that particular session and what I did there. And just to be on the safe side, I loaded my Leica M6 with Kodak Portra 400, a film that I'm of course very familiar with and that I know the results, or where I know what to expect, what I can expect from the results. So just to be on the safe side. And again, so I really like this whole result and how it turned out, especially with the black and white images that came from the Kodak Tri-X. I have to mention at this point, of course, that Kodak Tri-X and the Hasselblad don't create these kinds of contrasts just like that or naturally. But of course that we did some, that we added this kind of contrast while scanning the negatives in, or my lab did in this particular case. So this is important to note here. In addition to that, when we talk about equipment, I also brought my Gaussian Starlight 2 as a light meter. And as you know, I use that to expose for the shadows and ensure that I get my exposure right. And I usually use it as a spot meter, kind of going for the shadows underneath a person's chin, for example, to really make sure that I get enough detail in the shadows on the darker parts of the image. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please remember to like it and maybe even share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like that, please leave me a comment in the comment section below, and ideally subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye.